Hello, Scorpio, my loves. I was getting ready to do the reading and I had several songs come in at the same time. It was like too many channels at once, but it was the same channel. It was all your guides. And the first song that came in was Dream a Little Dream for Me. And the part of that song that really stands out to me is Stars Shining Bright Above You. Where is it now? Say nighty night and whisper I love you. And then it goes on. While it might be a love song, it's also got that sense of the breeze blowing around you, and that sense of it almost being magical, that there's this energy around you, and it's slow and it's smooth, and you might remember it from the Mamas and the Papas, but it goes way back. It was a duet between Ella Fitzgerald and Ella Fitzgerald and somebody else, Louis Armstrong. But it's all very slow and smooth and easy. And Scorpio, that's the energy I feel is really relevant for you right now. Now, the other song that came to mind is one that is more current, although not that current. I used to sing it in the car when I was a kid and drive my father crazy because I only would sing the chorus. It's magic, never believe it's not so. It's magic, never believe it's not so. And I feel like that's also goes along very well with the quality of the energy that I was feeling as I was getting ready to do this reading. It feels to me so much like Spirit is just so much surrounding you right now. And as I was starting to do this reading with the cards, the Fear card came out. Fear is a prayer for what you don't want. And I put it back in because I thought, okay, let's just shuffle and really focus. And Scorpio, the next card that came out was Resistance. So what is resistance? Resistance gets a bad rap because very often when we go into resistance, we are fighting against something that we don't want. What happens when we fight against something we don't want? We give it energy. So the way to deal with resistance is understand that when that happens, we're coming up against something that we are in conflict about. And we can't really separate what we're in conflict about externally and externally. If there is something externally that we are resisting, then it means now a part of us, a part of our inner self, our energy, our values, whatever, is coming into something that is restraining it, that is not in alignment with it. I'm going to say that it's not in alignment with it. Now, what can we do? What we can do is we can look at that and say, thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, guides. Thank you, higher conscious mind. Thank you, wise self, for alerting me to something in me that now can be triggered into a state of agitation. Do I get to look at that now? Can I look at this? Resistance, I like to think of it as it really is a force of energy, and just the right amount of resistance can really provoke momentum. Too much can create so much drag and static energy that you kind of stall. So what we want not to do is to feed it with arguing with the resistance. We look at resistance, we embrace it as an energy and say, what are you showing me? What's behind that? Okay? Often, the best way to handle it is to acknowledge it and then go into a higher energy. So what higher energy? Well, it can be play, it can be gratitude, but in your case, I got the play card. And I think that's really perfect because Scorpio, you're very smart people and you're very determined to understand generally, to dig deep, get all the detail that you can. Sometimes that's what can keep you in that state of agitation or keep you attached to whatever it is you're resisting. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't look at it. Absolutely look at it. But typically what it can do is it can lead you back to something that you can learn from and an energy that you can transmute. So what might that look like? Let's get practical here. What might that look like? That might look like, okay, if I'm resisting going back to my mechanic to deal with what I think might be something that was not done quite right. I know that I probably should face this, and there's a part of me that's really resisting going. Why am I resisting it? What is that in me that I'm resisting? It feels like agitation. It feels like procrastination. It feels like, ugh. What I'm resisting in me is fear of offending somebody. Let's see, looking stupid, looking petty. I can think of a bunch of things, but basically it comes back to a certain level of insecurity. So then I get to look at that and I get to be realistic about it, and I get to laugh at myself a little bit and go, okay, you know what? So these are old things that are coming up. Now, what can I do with it? Well, I can look at it and I can say, if I were to play this out like it were a lighthearted comedy, what might that look like? And I can also go back to that and say, that's an old pattern of insecurity. So this is the second one. You can go back to it and say, that's just a pattern of thinking, a pattern of insecurity. Do you really feel concerned about looking like any of those things? Are you really concerned that you're not going to be able to say it in a way that is still respectful, that is seeking information as opposed to blaming, okay? Can you look at that and see, because look at that one resistance, that one desire not to do it that I'm pulling away from, that's creating resistance in me. Look at all the things that I just got to be able to define about myself. And now look at it and laugh, which also gives it energy. And then I can look for underneath it and say, is that still a truth in me? Or is that something that, oh, I can just choose not to act in that way now. I can see through it. And now it has all of those emotions, have all of this energy and this acceptance and this appreciation. And now I can move forward. What that has shown me really clearly is that my personality structure that I moved up against, that was an old thing, really wasn't there at all. It was just an old pattern that I have grown beyond that. Now, if it was something that continued to really give me problems, I might reach out for help to a wise friend, to a therapist, to somebody. I might just do a lot more inner work on myself, because some things will be deeper and some things will just be habitual patterns of thought. But what you're being asked to do, Scorpio, is in the process of all of this, stop and notice every time you let fear or resistance to something interrupt a positive potential outcome in your mind. A sweet dream, a loving thought, self-acceptance, the ability to appreciate a moment of beauty around you. When do you notice your peace of mind or your state of enjoyment be interrupted by sneaky thoughts of, it's too good to be true, it's not possible, I'll let myself down, God will let me down, whatever that is? Stop and look at that. And just check in with why you're doing that. Because a lot of times what that is, it's almost like preventative disappointment. If you let yourself be disappointed in the future, you're not going to jinx yourself, right? Well, energy doesn't work that way, friends. It doesn't work that way. It's easy to think it does, and I'll still say knock wood sometimes, but the reality is that the more you embrace a positive outcome, the more nourished you're going to be, the more you're going to build your confidence, because things won't always work out the way we want them. But when we can live that positive attitude and lean into the love that is being offered to us by our higher conscious mind and our guides and our loved ones, the more we allow ourselves to be nourished by that in anticipation of success and good outcome, the more we are able to deal with disappointment when it happens. Because we understand it's not all there is, it's just a moment. Okay? Scorpio, you are really being told here, it's magic. Never believe it's not so. Okay? And I really feel, I think that the reason the world is so enamored of magic, the idea of magic, stories of magic, is because it is the closest many people have ever been able to come to understanding the, oh my gosh, the beauty and the dynamic possibility for change that exists within the metaphysical reality, which is our reality. It's just opening our minds to it. And I feel like those stories of magic are speaking to that part of us that knows it's there on some level, but hasn't quite grasped how to work with it and how to access it. Well, this is how. This is how. Pay attention. Your guides are there. You have the power to choose what you are going to believe in and how you're going to shape your mind. You have got the opportunity to say, you know what? I love this. You get choice and now you get responsibility, the ability to respond. You have power. Power is choice. And choice, the most powerful choice you can ever make, is your choice of how you wish to feel, how you wish to experience yourself in the world. The choice to set your intention for different, for a way of thinking and believing that makes you feel alive, that makes you feel wonderful things are possible, that moves you out of, if not into magnificent thinking, the choice to move out of negative patterns of thought. And you don't necessarily need to know how that's going to happen. When you set the intention for better, this is so important, and Spirit is so strong right now. When you set the intention for better, it will come in ways that are appropriate for you when the time is right. But it is you setting the intention for it that opens the door. And can you imagine that you're on vacation and that you're going to look at everything that's been troubling you with a new eye? So, the on vacation card as an awareness activity is wonderful because it just says, really interpreting it for this kind of a reading that we're doing, it's, you know what? This goes along with changing your view of life, stopping and allowing to see what's getting in the way, and then making the choice, being able to respond differently, being able to make new choices about how you wish to experience life. Because what you have is you have Spirit around you. When you are moving towards good, you are moving towards, this sounds like a reading I did for somebody this week. When you are moving towards good, when you are moving towards feeling better, when you are moving towards joy, when you are moving towards helping others or just helping yourself to be more fulfilled, more peaceful, the universe supports that. You will have, shivers, all the help you need to do that. Set the intention and keep setting the intention. And remember, it's magic. Never believe it's not so. Okay? Take care, Scorpio. You've got a lot of help around you. If resistance is coming up now, please remember, this is a point of power if it's coming up, because it's giving you the opportunity to choose. Take care. And remember, play. Remember, play.